echo now. Try and correct that. Ooh, what did I bring up there? Okay, I think the echo might just be coming from the fact that I have the audio from the computer already on as well. I think that could be it. Maybe it's playing in the background. I don't know actually. Let's just play around with this guy. Hopefully that fixes itself. Fixed! Hey, we did it. What is up on the screen? Oh, okay, never mind. That is on my end. Okay. Some technical difficulties. I should get a button for that. I got buttons. I got buttons that like starting soon or ending soon. But once I can go back to live. But that's, I should get like a technical difficulties button. I might try and work one of those bad boys in just 'cause it'd be more fun. Yeah, no. Happy to hear it's way better. So yeah, no. What's everyone working on today? What are we doing? What's the happening stuff? Oh, sec. I realize I should be better at this, but trying to draw and look up at myself and keep close to the mic is an absolute head wrecker. It is a acquired skill that I'm gonna have to work on. So we're just gonna roughen this bad boy's shoes while we're at it. But yeah, no. Here's the thing. I realized recently I draw the same shoes on almost every character. Like, it's always like big kind of high top boot looking shoes, just real kind of cartoony and over the top of it. Even if you look at this guy, he's wearing the exact same shoes as this guy. I'm just robbing details, keeping the same things. I just watched an interview with an artist recently. He talked about the idea that style in your illustrations or whatever work you're doing, it's just whatever mistakes you constantly make. It's your own combination of mistakes. That's what's going to make your style. So let me just play with my mistakes here. Let's turn this on and off. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. We're padding this bad boy out. Then bring his arm out a little more. Really fix him up. Maybe get the head in here as well. As I said, I'll clean this guy up way more in a minute. Really getting me looking good in a while. But yeah, I hope you're a fan of the whole lighting setup. Really, I think it ties it together a little bit more, makes it easier to read and view and see. Once again, still need to play with better. I'm gonna get a better camera actually. As much as I like the camera, it's gonna need like some work. Clean it up a little bit. What? These things will come. Let's see. Rough in the ear. As I said, these are all rough shapes, so like 90% of these are gonna change in a while. And let's give him some hair. Quite like the hair I gave this guy last time. This is pretty fun. So we're just gonna rob that and bring it back down here. Give him kind of like a quip kind of thing, like he shaved the sides of his head. There we go. Get the crackling lightning eyes. Save me having to draw some eyes. Watching while making a website. Ooh, damn! We got a bit of web design going on. No, I am. Speaking of web design, actually, I still need to design a website. I got a project for that due for the whole summer, and I am shocking. Every time I've gone near coding, I am just. There's a lot of things I'm good at. It's just coding is not one of them. I cannot touch it with a 10-foot pole. But yeah, no. Thank you for liking the setup, by the way. I think it really. I'm liking the light source. Really. Like, obviously, I can manipulate it, bring it in closer and further, but I'm happy where it is at the moment. I'm thinking of using that to go live from that angle as well at some point. It'd be fun to have a multi-camera setup. Just spitballing some ideas for now, though. One sec. Here we go. Alright. We're getting somewhere. Don't even know if I'll keep this bag. I feel like the bag might be a bit much, but that can be fixed later on. Honestly, at this point, the whole stream should just be called, that can be fixed later on. Also, I can't wait to try and fix the audio for the YouTube version of this, where there's just a massive echo from my end for the first 10 minutes or so. That's going to be a fun one to clean up later. Nice late night in Audacity, I assume. I mean Adobe Audition, because I definitely use Adobe Audition and all the fancy Adobe products, obviously. Okay. This guy's getting there. A bit of shading in there. Bit of a chest. Alright, we're getting somewhere. I feel like I say alright, we're getting somewhere a lot, even though we're not getting anywhere. This guy. I think I'm going to go over the sketch one more time with a nice clean brush. Just to really get these pencils looking on point before we start inking them. Be handy if I was on a new layer as well. That'd be really useful. Also, I had another idea. Where is it? Canvas. Referencing. There we wait. Can I flip this anyway? No, is that? No, that's not working. Can I flip it in image? Bear with me. I want to see if I can flip this canvas. No, let me flip it. Why won't that change? That is strange. It's showing me the canvas, but it's looking flipped for some reason. Don't ask me why. So I was hoping we could be zooming in and out and have it come up on that. That is strange. Oh well, nothing can be done about that. Unless I flip the orientation, maybe? Okay, no. Oh, we're making progress. I have fixed it. God, I'm a fucking genius. 3000 IQ right here. Okay, there we go. So now every time we zoom in and out, we'll be able to see the full image up here in the top corner. Oh my goodness grief. Absolute professional right here. Draw with Jazzer can go eat his heart out. What brushes you use? Okay, let's break into this bad boy. I like to work in the inking brushes. I'm not a massive fan of the sketching brush. I think the texture is a bit weird. Personally, I love to jump between these two bad boys, the technical pen and a bit of dry ink if I want texture, or a studio pen. Studio pen is nice, but it's a bit too controlled for my liking. But the technical pen, there's just something so smooth about it. Like the way the lines just fire off on it are so nice, and it gives this nice little taper at the end, so your lines come out nice and sharp. You can start really, or you can start really light and go heavy with them. I don't know. I think it's the best with the. I think the technical pen has the best control while also being able to move it really easily, like really free flowing. The other ones, they control well, but you don't have a lot of freedom with it. Personally, though, I'm a big fan of either dry ink or ink bleed, because they give this nice texture. It's kind of like, it's almost like you've drawn it with like a pencil or like a fancy brush. It's just really nice. You can kind of make these jagged lines. It depends on the piece you're working on, obviously, but I am a fan of that dry ink brush and that and that ink bleed brush. Sorry, absolute handy brush to use. But 90% of the time, I probably stick with the technical brush. When it comes to coloring or painting, I'm a big fan of the airbrushes as well. I know they're fairly simple to use and they're basically the Photoshop brushes, but they are so useful when doing any kind of painting or any kind of illustration work. Okay, let me hop back to my technical pen. Good question, though. Alright, we got some time out of that. Holy shit, we've been going 20 minutes already. Wait, I wonder if I should be swearing on here. I guess I probably shouldn't be if I'm going to be throwing this on YouTube afterwards, but... well. Tiny bit of censorship. We'll work on that. Alright. Let's get these inks nice and clean. The trick is lots and lots of confidence in my lines. Even if they're not the best lines, that confidence is going to do all the world of good. I'm thinking I might drop the bag now. The more I'm looking at it, I'm not a fan of it. Let's see. I feel like it's trying too hard. Like, we have the scooter in there already. Ooh, gotta switch erasers. Let's get that. Put that in there. We can like have his arm coming down like that. There we go. Now we're playing with power. Let's see. Have the jacket out like that. These are going to be some nice clean pencils. I honestly think after this I might even start inking already. Jeez, this has gone fast. I honestly thought this would take a lot longer. I guess being on camera, being on mic puts me under a lot more pressure just to like fire into it. Normally I'd be spending 20 minutes just trying to get his jacket right. At least this might actually be like the most productive thing I can do, because this is going to keep me going, making snap decisions. Obviously everything can be changed and fixed afterwards, but it is kind of nice to just fire into an idea and just keep going with it. Let's get that. I wonder if there's like an actual name for these kind of like big padded jackets, the ones like without the sleeves. I was just calling it the padded jacket the whole time, but I can't remember for the life of me if there's an actual name for it. There has to be, obviously. Everything has a proper name, but I'd love to. I might Google it in a minute. Although I don't even know what I Google. Pad jacket, no sleeves. Like, you know the ones. It's just I'm trying to think of the name off the top of my head. I said not to be targeting Deliveroo drivers because you see lads around town. All of them wear these, but I can't remember the name of these fucking padded jackets. Let's get this line work in there. The best thing is about having all this, all these other layers. Later on, when putting the project together, he's like, "Oh, here's all my rough work," and just show layer by layer how I built these up. It's gonna look really nice in that production book, which will go along with the final hand up of this project, if I ever get it done. That is. Gilet. Oh, gilet. Okay, gilet. Huh. Thank you. I would not have known that. A gilet. Like Chile. Gilet. Cool. I could probably work that into the name somehow. The speed gilet. Speedlay. Speed. Yeah. Well, I'll figure something out later on. But thank you for that. I would not have guessed that. Learn something new every day. I might even buy one of these gilets. It is getting cold out there. And your boy's getting freezing. It doesn't help all I wear is t-shirts everywhere, so not helpful at all. Let's see, what else can we add to this guy? Trying to think how this gilet is going to work. How did I draw it the first time? Alright, had a bit more motion to it. See, I'm kind of sad I'm not using the original version because I was really happy with that sketch. The only problem was it's just too detailed for what we're going for. There's a lot of fun, like, in-depth lines there, but half those kind of like mini, like, not, how do I put this, these kind of finicky thin lines, a lot of those would be lost on the actual cam. This more cartoony big thick boy is probably going to translate way better when scaled down. It's got, like, while it looks cool and big here on the screen, when scaled down it's only going to be that size. And don't get me wrong, most girls will tell you that size doesn't matter, but scaling it down is going to be really important because I'm going to have to be able to look at this thing at like that size. So I hope nobody uses that one clip by itself also, because that's going to look real incriminating when played back. But yeah, let's just add the hood in on top of this gilet. Oh, we exited out. That's fun. What happened there? I must have hit the button at the bottom. It doesn't matter. That's the best thing about working on an iPad. I can just hop back in straight away. I don't have to restart any softwares too much, as long as I don't turn it off. See, the trick to drawing any good hoodie is just these dangly boys right here, the ones you pull. Once you got those in place, boom, everyone knows it's a hoodie straight away. Honestly, I think they're more important than the actual hood, which is saying something. They are the most recognizable part. Let's just do the classic trick of hiding the hands. I realize I do this a lot where I just hide the hands behind something. And obviously I can draw hands, but given the chance, I will either ball them up in some fists and cover them, or just have them hidden away inside something else. Like, that is not a well drawn hand by any means, but once you hide it inside of that and scale it back slightly, no one even notices. The trick to being a better artist is understanding all your weaknesses, and one of mine is fucking hands. Although I think a lot of people struggle with them. I know everyone's like, oh, look at your own hand and draw it, but I don't know. That feels like cheap advice, I guess. It's never helped me anyway. After 7-8 years of drawing, I still can't draw hands properly to save my life. Still, I can draw them, just not well. Last week I went on a little rant about knees, and I'm still trying to get this knee right. Every now and again, I draw a character that happens to have just massive knee syndrome or broken knee syndrome. Looks like you've taken the caps out and chucked them in somewhere else. Let's get this guy looking. Okay, my fear is I'm going to put too many little details in again, and all of a sudden I'm going to have to get rid of them in the later part, because they're not going to translate when scaled. Alright, this guy's getting there now. As a translation of the original version, it's getting there. Also, I've knocked off the referencing things. Oh no, it's still there. Never mind. I am a fucking idiot. Oh, wait, swearing. I should really stop doing that. Ah, well. Nothing can be done about it now. It's not like editing exists or anything like that. Let's get the big socks outside. And now we add some patterns so you know which direction the legs are going. This is the thing I realize I do an awful lot. I just chuck a random pattern or like a directional piece in, just so you kind of know the way the character is supposed to be moving or the character is supposed to be looking. It's a thing you see in a lot of superhero costumes, but like it can be applied to normal clothes as well. Like when drawing a tracksuit, for example, chucking in those like nice white lines, actually, like those, if that comes up on the camera, that helps you see which way the legs are going every time. So I'm going to be chucking those in here as well. And it also helps to give it shape, give it weight, like the audience can look at this and say, oh, that's where the knee is, that's where the folds are. It's actually kind of clever trickery more than anything else, which I'm quite happy with. Chuck these big shoes back on him again. Man, I've drawn him with huge feet. I'm gonna have to scale these down in a minute. Doesn't help like I'm in an awkward pose feet wise. Okay, we are getting there. Okay, let's give him a little bit of a face and some rough lighting. That scooter is going to be a pain to draw. Actually, I just realized that. I probably should have looked up reference beforehand instead of just, winging it. But, measure twice, cut once would have been a good strategy an hour ago before I started streaming. But, who needs all that prep time and all that thinking ahead? Here at Jack Drawing Art, we just dive headfirst into it and hope for the best. Let's get that. Give him some lightning eyes. Still gotta make him look super somehow. Turn off that bottom layer. Alright, we got something. He's got a good pose to him. He's got like some nice form, and we got most of the same details from the other version. One sec, let's do that random pattern thing again. Add a little seam there. There we go. Now he's coming together. Let's just chuck this scooter in. I'm gonna separate the layers on this. Is that for the cans as well? Yes, it is actually. This is gonna be. I showed them a little bit earlier. So basically, the idea is we're gonna have 8 different characters, all of which we'll chuck on the cans like that. We've got a few other ones like what's his name? Fucking like Skeletor over here from the last stream, who obviously we'll have to remove that background bit a little bit, but basically each one will have a colored can like that, and I'll do some mock-ups for those at another stage. It's a combination of a packaging project and an illustration / design project, just to show I can come up with characters and concepts and also do packaging at the same time. The lecturer is a fan of it, so that's all that matters really. But yeah, no, I still got 2 more of these bad boys, a minimum 2 more to get done. If we can get 2 more done, we are done. Obviously anything after that is just good. We're just happy to have it at that point, but 2 more of these minimum have to be designed. So that is what we are here on this stream for, and I'm guessing the next several if we can. If we can. The puns, they keep coming. They never stop. Let's get this scooter. Alright. Modern problems need modern solutions, so I'm going to Google one of these electric scooters. Electric scooter. This is funny. I actually have one downstairs. I probably could have just went downstairs taken a photograph of it, but ain't nobody got time for that. Alright. Alright, they're pretty easy to draw. They're only a few lines. We can do this. We can fix this. Might even try and soup it up a little bit. Is this from? Let's see. I read that comment already. So the idea for this was actually to try and go live both on Twitch and on YouTube. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm kind of happy the YouTube version didn't work out, because trying to monitor two chats would have made my head explode while also trying to draw and, you know, give commentary of any kind. It is an acquired skill. Even now, I'm struggling to come up with things to say and to concentrate on the drawing process. I think I was shit talking YouTubers a while back about like, oh, all they do is they look into the camera, they draw a little bit, they do a voice or whatever, but like, man, fuck this. This is hard. This is genuinely quite hard. Trying to like come up with interesting things to say and not like repeat myself 100 times like, and now I'm drawing this line, and now I'm booing the scooter. Trying not to sound boring and trying to be energetic and still draw at the same time. You know what? I gotta give him more props than I do. I respect him. No, guys like Draw with Jazzer or like, honestly, any art YouTuber, fair dues to him. This is a lot harder than I thought. This is my favorite part of any project, actually, whether it's streaming wise or just like any illustration piece I do, and that's the part where I get completely overwhelmed and go, why did I pick to do this? Don't get me wrong, that's normally a good sign. It means that we're getting right close to a breakthrough or a breakdown. I think it goes breakdown, breakthrough. That's my kind of motto. That's how most of these pieces work. I come right to the edge of quitting and giving up on the whole project, and then boom, got the solution right there. Although I think a lot of creatives can just like relate to that, you know, that moment that you're just about to give up on something. You're like, oh no, never mind, I figured it out. I had it once where I just couldn't figure out why my layers weren't working in Photoshop. I nearly just deleted the whole project. An illustration that, I shit you not, I had spent 3 hours on, nearly went down the toilet just because I couldn't figure out how to switch the layers properly. But you know, you live and you learn kind of thing. Let's just keep drawing this scooter. Let's see. That is the fun of the creative process, I guess. The stressful fun. I mean, it could be worse. I could be sitting in an office somewhere doing counts or some shit like that. At least I'm doing something I have fun with and I enjoy. Even if I am to complain about it. That's a good healthy cough. That's a good sign. Welcome to the 2020s, where coughing is the new most offensive thing you can do, which is funny because everyone still does offensive things. Let's get that other wheel in there. All right, that's kind of a scooter. That's close enough. If you squint and you don't look at it too hard, that's basically a scooter, right? And so let's just round that wheel out a little bit, and add some bits to it. You know what? Good enough. Close enough. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part where I die on air. Goodbye, cruel world. Au revoir. C'est la vie. Oh, there we go. Alright, back to it. No dying, not till the illustration is done. When the illustration is done, then you have my permission to die. I actually rewatched The Dark Knight Rises recently. Much better movie than I remember, honestly. In the lead up to the Batman, I decided just to sit down and watch all the Bale movies in one go, and obviously Dark Knight's still the best best Batman movie of all time, but Dark Knight Rises a lot better than I remember. It's weird. There's a Batman movie that has about 40-45 minutes where Batman doesn't turn up whatsoever, and he's not even Bruce Wayne. And you don't even feel it. You're just having such a good time. You're just vibing with this movie that it's like, nah, I'm good. This is all I need. Batman? Who? I don't know. But yeah, no, doesn't help that after watching that, I've spent the last 2 weeks just randomly breaking into the Bane voice. So, you know, that's fun. That's a fun kink. Alright, now let's duplicated the layer just so we can scale this guy up a bit. I know it looks confusing. Let's just disable that. Scaling him up is going to make this inking a lot easier. Man, that cough is getting more. Would you like the new Batman or what do you like? If we're going Batman talk here, let's see. Personally, I loved the Batman. I honestly think it might be, if not, it's my favorite Batman movie, but I don't think it's the best Batman movie, if that makes sense. Like, honestly, Patterson did a fantastic job. Like, his Batman's big and intimidating, but also, like, he's not very good at Batman, if that makes sense. He's not a great detective. he gets his ass handed to him a few times. He's not invulnerable, basically. Like, he gets shot a bunch. It's if I wanted a Batman movie, this is it. That said, I still think The Dark Knight's a better put together movie. I'd probably go The Dark Knight, The Batman, Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. Oh, and then Batman vs Superman or the Snyder Cut and all that shit. But you know, those are all on like the bottom. Oh boy, the Snyder Cut fans are gonna be coming for me for that one. That's actually karma right there for talking shit about Batman vs Superman. I just started like losing my breath. Okay, now it is time to start the most important part of any illustration, and that is the inking stage. Because what pen we use, what inks we do, all of this is very, very important. Because it's going to be the final stuff that's seen on the page. Let's see. Are we with the nice technical pen? Have we broken it out? There we go. Alright, let's give this a try. I'm always like terrified to figure out where to start. Wait, dude, where's Michael Keaton? Michael Keaton. This is weird because I'm not a fan of Michael Keaton Batman whatsoever, which is ironic because he is coming back as Batman. It's actually quite sad. We were supposed to have 3 Batman movies this year and we're only getting 1 now, unfortunately, seeing as The Flash has been put back to 2023. I actually heard recently that it's been oh my god, the opacity has turned down. It has been something like 10 years since The Flash was announced. I'd have to double check. I think it was announced in 2013. So, what's that? 9 years. It has been 9 years since the Flash movie was announced. And another, like, what is it? Ezra Miller was cast as the Flash in 2015 while they were making Batman vs Superman. So that's 7 years of him waiting to make this Flash movie. Don't get me wrong, he's choked out a few fans in that time while he's been waiting, but like, geez, just give the guy a Flash movie at this point. Shut him up. Like, the fact that they keep putting it back can't be a good sign. I thought I knew you. Oh, you thought? Oh, what? Just because I'm not a Keaton fan? I just don't. I'm not a Keaton fan. What can I say? I am a Christian Bale bitch. I love me some raspy Batman when he sounds like this. When he gets real close, he's where's the drugs? That's my Batman. Not Keaton kicking clowns down wells and like blowing up penguins or whatever. I know it is heartbreaking stuff. Well, how would you rank the Batman actually? Given your choice, how would you rank the Batman there? Throw him into the chat for me. We'll read him out here live on air. We'll go through all the Batman. Personally, I go Bale. Let's see how we're doing this. I'd go Bale. I go Robert Pattinson, Ben Affleck, Keaton, Kilmer, Clooney. No, not Clooney. Adam West, then Clooney. Let's see. He's a bat, so he sleeps upside down. Michael Keaton is not the most accurate Batman. The thing is, I would genuinely say he has the worst Batman bod of all the actors, and I know, like, look at me, pot called the kettle black on looks here, but like, he just doesn't look like Batman. He just looks like a regular man. Like, I feel like I could overpower him in a fist fight, and that's never a good sign for a Batman. Don't get me wrong, Ben Affleck was way too big. Holy shit, Ben Affleck was like, I know he was supposed to be doing Dark Knight Returns Batman, but geez, Ben Affleck was like 300 pounds of muscle and 6'5", and like he's down in wine and human growth hormone, and then he's just doing pull-ups. He does have a cool suit. I think you're talking about Ben Affleck in that. Michael Keaton's suit looked impossible to move in, but Ben Affleck's suit looks so cool. My only problem is he basically feels bulletproof. He feels like, I'm pretty sure he gets shot in the head multiple times. He's just like, nah, I'm fine. It's whatever. I'm good. Go on, shoot me again. I dare you. Do it. Say Martha. Shoot me. Like, he seems fine. Meanwhile, like, Christian Bale, you shoot him once he goes down. Probably Bale, Patterson, Keaton, Affleck, other bozos. You know what's actually heartbreaking? Neither of us have mentioned your boy Adam West in this whole thing. Maybe it's because he's above all of them. Maybe deep down we both know that Adam West was the greatest Batman and still is the greatest Batman. I'm just... Oh, one sec. Notifications popping up on my screen. Yeah, I have mail. Lovely. I would honestly say... Let's see. Actually, Adam West isn't a bozo. Exactly, Adam West isn't a bozo. Adam West was the most accurate Batman for his time. Because back when Adam West was making Batman in like 66, everything was so campy and cartoony. It was just like, oh kids, how are we getting on? Batman's a big guy and he's fighting aliens, and there's sci-fi, and now he's Rainbow Batman, and there's Egg Foo. Like there's so much weird shit in there that like, nah, he's the most accurate Batman for his time. Honestly, 100%. Who do you think the villain's gonna be in The Batman 2 Electric Boogaloo? Like, who do you think's gonna follow up the Riddler? Obviously, we get a tease for the Joker, but is there any other villains you'd like to see? Fire a few ideas into the chat there. We can discuss them if you want. Meanwhile, I am just putting some little details here on the jacket, on the gilet, as we shall call it. The old school Batman edits of the new Batman are so good. Ooh, wait, what are you talking about? Old school Batman edits of the new Batman are so good. Oh, so like they're edited to look like the Batman, or is it the other way around you're saying? Like, are they putting the Batman to like the 1960s music? Because don't get me wrong, that sounds hilarious. Like the na 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 na, I am vengeance. That sounds pretty great, not gonna lie. Let's see. Should we leave this whole area black or just add in some lighting? No, we'll leave it black. Screw it. We'll just add some nice strong inks in there. Make some good contrast. I'm actually contemplating turning this whole jacket black just to really like put it together. Let's see. Add a nice little chest piece in here. You see, I'm going to come back later on and really work on the line weight, but I still need to get them somewhat right. The fights from the Batman with the like the bam and the that makes more sense. So the edits are like, it's the Batman, but it's like bam, kaplow, like the 60s. Actually, quite like that. That does sound really cool. I saw someone edited the end of The Dark Knight Rises where Christian Bale's he's flying the plane out over the bay, and he's like, there's no time, I gotta get rid of the bomb. And then it's the audio from Batman 66, and it's like, sometimes you just can't get rid of a bomb. And it's like the music kicks in, and it's like, it's a close dramatic shot of his face. I don't know, I thought that was really funny. That one really caught me off guard. Oh my god. I also saw someone edit the Batman trailer, but it's Arkham Knight instead, and it's so epic. It is so fucking cool. That game gets so much shit. It is so good. And I like that trailer with the Batman audio, just so good. Actual chills. There's a weird contrast between this character and like the last one I was drawing, because it's like this guy's all more like organic shapes and a lot of folds, a lot of fabrics. You know, like the last guy was like big, heavy armor and like bulky, like metal shapes. And the trick to like showing either one of those is just your line weights and your shape, basically. Let me get the line weight right on this guy. He's gonna be looking spicy. Let's get in here. A nice little trick I like to use is to go into like these big black areas and just put in a little implication of a line, just erase it more than anything else. It really looks like it adds more shape to it, basically. It's the idea is that yes, that is where the lines cut off, but this is where they would be going if you were to add more to it. Let's add more. Undecided about the Joker being from Dublin. Patterson absolutely blew me away, so I'm here for it. When the Joker reveal happened before he said "sad clown," yeah, no, I 100% didn't realize. Like, I knew Barry Keoghan had been cast, and the rumor was he was the Joker. The only thing is, and I know this is gonna sound bad, but Eternals just turned me off Barry Keoghan. It ruined him for me. And I really love that actor, but that movie has just ruined him for me. That said, they could bring me back around tomorrow, and there is one way and one way only they could bring me back around, and that is if that version of the Joker has the weird cut off face. It's like that Joker is by far the coolest looking Joker of all time. And I know he has the weird like scarring in the Batman. Spoilers. Complete spoilers for the Batman, by the way, for anybody who watches this. I mean, we're assuming that you have seen it at this point. It's been out about a week or two, so you've had your chance. You've had 2 weeks to watch it. And I think everyone and their mother knows that, like, Dublin Batman's in it. So, sorry, Dublin Joker is in it. So it's grand. I was kind of hoping we get Joaquin Phoenix, though. Wait, I haven't seen... Wait, you haven't seen it, but that's what everyone said. Do you? You haven't actually seen it. Oh, heartbreaking stuff. And I was about to start spoiling it even more. My goodness grief. I will be quiet about the spoilers then. Holy crap, though. It is so good. I'm hoping they do cut off face Joker, because as I've said, you don't actually see what he looks like properly. I'm really hoping for the cut off face. Okay, one sec. Let's get back to this design for a second. It feels good to talk Batman. I feel like I haven't talked. Thank goodness you haven't seen Eternals and seen the Batman. I fucked that up completely. I was reading the messages as I was trying. I was like, wait, he hasn't seen. I thought he said he'd seen the Batman. He has so much information for a man who says he hasn't seen the Batman. How could he know all these things about the Batman but not have seen it? Okay, it makes more sense. You haven't seen Eternals. I don't think anyone has, and I don't think anybody wants to. That said, thinking back on it, I genuinely think Eternals might be the most interesting Marvel movie released in about 2-3 years. It's the only Marvel movie that after the fact I actually think about. And I realize this is somewhat connected. Let's see, you can spoil Eternals as much as you want. Oh, thank God. Like, there's not a lot to spoil in Eternals, apart from the fact that the Earth is a big egg, and the way the Eternals win is by committing an abortion. They create a big old space abortion and kill the Earth to stop it from hatching or whatever. And the first gay Marvel character is also the inventor of the nuclear bomb. But if you can get past those two facts, yeah, no, not a lot to spoil, to be fair. No, there's not a lot going on there. It's so much of just a nothing movie. Like, nothing happens in it. It's just like, oh my God, now we're here, now we're there, and look, it's Jon Snow. Is he gonna be in this lot? Nah. Oh my God, it's a powerful black magic sword that belonged to a Venom. Is he gonna be in? Nope. Oh my God, it's Blade. Is he gonna be? Nope. I don't know. It's kind of just a boring movie. I'm not like the regular Marvel boring, isn't like that was entertaining, and then 20 minutes later you kind of forget about the time Spider-Man didn't get into college and a wizard gave him a wish or whatever. This was just a weird one. This was a really strange movie that kind of, it stuck with me more than I thought, but not enough, if that makes sense. It's like not in a good way. These are the Fast and the Furious sticks with you, but not in a good way. Like, honestly, actually I've had more fun with the Fast and the Furious than I would have the Eternals. I'd much rather rewatch all of those before I'd rewatch Eternals again. The 3-hour runtime doesn't help. Like, obviously, you said you've seen the Batman twice. That's nearly 6 hours. Eternals is only 2 hours 45, and it feels like 6 hours. It feels like it goes on forever. Oh my God, it goes on and on and on, and it's just boring shit. Like, nothing's happening. Like, don't get me wrong, at least we get to see like a shredded Kumail Nanjiani and all the steroids he's on or whatever. But like, apart from that, there is nothing happening in Eternals. Like, at least Spider-Man No Way Home had like Spider-Man 2 villains, so that was interesting enough. But yeah, no. It's weird actually. I was thinking about the Batman, and basically, I have talked so much shit about Marvel movies for the last, like, I don't know, 3-ish months, 4-ish months, ever actually since Eternals came out, that if the Batman was bad, if DC actually shit the bed once again, I was in trouble. I was terrified actually, because like, I've talked so much shit about the Marvel method recently. Not like the drawing method, but like the movies. So if the Batman had been bad, I would have been broken. Cinema would have been dead. Let's see. I think the timing was absolutely terrible. Nobody really excited for Eternals, and they decided to drop it after Spider-Man, which is probably the most hype. Yeah, no. That's the thing. Spider-Man had so much hype going into it. No one gave a crap about Eternals. And pair that with the fact that we had just gotten Shang-Chi and Black Widow and a Hawkeye series. Like, I'm all marveled out, I'll be honest. Like, and don't get me wrong, I had a podcast, should have gone for the head. We covered all this stuff, and honest to God, if I don't have to watch another Marvel thing for at least 3 more months, I'd be so happy. That'd be more than enough time to build some hype back up for me and get me ready for Doctor Strange, which looks sick. They got fucking Professor X, Patrick Stewart back, and We'll probably get John Krasinski in there as well, but I just need like 3 months minimum before I have to go see another Marvel thing, instead of dropping like 7 of them at once in December. That killed me. That physically hurt me to get all of those at once. And I know I sound spoiled because like 3 or 4 years ago I would have been like, give me all of them, give me all the Marvel movies, give me everything. Now I'm just like, oh please slow them down slightly. Just there's so many of them, so many of them. Let's add some details in this guy's eyes. It would be helpful if I had planned out his face a little bit more. I just knew there was going to be some electricity or something coming off of them, but that's about it. I really hope they leave the Batman alone, because the Batman has my number one guy, because DC is terrible. I wouldn't say DC is terrible since the Nolan trilogy. I would say it's not great. Just I'm reading through your message there. Like, Man of Steel was fun. No, it wasn't. Fun is the wrong word for that. Man of Steel was entertaining. But then, like, so many people die, and it doesn't really feel like a Superman movie. It feels like ashamed to be a Superman movie. And then after that, like, what did we have after that? Batman vs. Superman, which is one of the worst movies that I've seen several times in a row. Like, I've seen Batman vs. Superman maybe 6 times. And it never gets better. It never gets more entertaining. I've seen the director's cut. I've seen the cinematic cut. It never gets any better. But my goodness, I've sat through it so many times at this point. What else? Shazam is fun. I like Shazam. Shazam's a good time. One sec. Let's just get more of that into me. Shazam's a great time. I feel like if I keep saying it, at some point the lightning's just gonna crackle in, and I'm gonna be sitting here like 10 times more buff. But yeah, no, I enjoy Shazam. Joker was mwah. It's a really dumb movie that doesn't say an awful lot and thinks it's way smarter than it is, and I love it for it. I love every moment of it. Let's see, the Marvel series have been saturated with the fun of going to the movie. Yeah, let's see, Shazam and Wonder Woman. I forgot about Wonder Woman, which is weird because I did a Wonder Woman piece really recently. One sec, see if I can pull it up. You can see my massive gallery for this project, and not including Doctor Strange, who's from a different piece. Let's go back a second. I actually did this Wonder. Let's see. I don't count Joker. Leave it on its own. No, honestly, I'd be so happy if Joker turned up in. I was hoping Joker was going to be at the end of the Patterson movie. I'll be honest, the Batman. This is a Wonder Woman piece I did a little bit back. It was a nice, fun commission that I showed off. I also got Peacemaker. We forgot about the Suicide Squad, and Peacemaker is such a good show. Holy shit, Peacemaker is just. DC's got some hits actually. Now I'm saying them out loud. I'm like, DC's got some absolute bangers. Like, not all of them are hits. I'd say 90% of them are misses actually. But like the hits are like hits. Like I'd like more swings for the fences. And you know what? Now that I'm saying it out loud, I think that's where my problem with Marvel comes in. Because I personally think Marvel, they don't take enough chances. They do the stuff that they know is going to make a shit ton of money, and obviously that is the smart and clever thing to do. But it's not interesting. The reason I find Marvel Comics so interesting is you never know what you're going to get. Like, sometimes you're going to get the Hulk as an immortal demon man. Sometimes he's a rocket ship. No joke. Those are both comics that happened in the last 2 years. I really thought it was Joaquin Phoenix when he said, "1 minute you're on top," quoting the song from the Joker. Oh yeah, that is. I wouldn't have even thought of that. Yeah, that is the quote, right? Also, thank you. The Wonder Woman piece, I'm happy with it. It was a commission. I was really happy with that. Didn't charge an awful lot for it. Probably could have charged more for it, but honestly, like, just for the way it came out, I'm happy enough with it. Like, and to be fair, that was a 2-day turnaround as well. So like, for 2 days, like, that was more than enough. It helped that like I had so many images of Gal Gadot that I could just reference directly. Like, she's very photogenic, and they poster her all over everything. So I was able to just go, let's take that color, let's copy that. Like, that was really handy. That is the thing. Reference. It is so handy, so helpful. It is a skill that every illustrator needs, basically. But yeah, no, the fun of Marvel Comics is always you never know what you're getting. Like, sometimes Spider-Man's been killed by Dr. Octopus, and Dr. Octopus is controlling his body. sometimes it's Avengers versus zombies. But like the Marvel movies, I feel like it's the same thing every time. It's like, let's get a slightly comedic actor, get him buff, and let's do a heartwarming origin story where they get what they want but not what they need, and they fight an evil version of themselves, and they learn a lesson along the way, and they reference the Avengers. That's basically every Marvel movie for the last 5-ish years, obviously excluding the Avengers movies and that one Spider-Man movie where, I shit you not, a wizard got him into college or whatever. God, that movie's so silly. So silly. Like, if that movie hadn't had Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, it might be the worst Marvel movie. Like, worse than Eternals. And I know I've talked a lot of shit about Eternals. I'm gonna get some hate in the comments to this one, just like talking shit about Marvel all day, every day. But that said, I am excited for Moon Knight. You can see I got Captain America's shield in the background. I got an Alex Ross Spider-Man. Like, I am a Marvel fan. It's just, I don't know. Certain things they've done recently in the movies have just been kind of boring or else uninspired. I feel like DC take like nice big swings. Not all of them land. I'd say most of them don't land. But like the big swings, when they land hard. I have not laughed at a show as much as I've laughed at Peacemaker. What do you think they're going to do with Spider-Man now? I feel like they're going to do Venom next. Like, I feel like you don't bring Tom Hardy in just for that one scene. I feel like they're going to give Tom Holland a symbiote. Yeah, Moon Knight's got me hyped. I was thinking about Moon Knight, actually, because I read a Moon Knight series a long time back. I'm a big fan of Moon Knight because he's just insane. He's Batman, but crazier. Like, actually legitimately more crazy. But with Moon Knight, I don't know how dark they're going to go with it. If they go dark, I would love that. If it's fucked and he doesn't know what's real and he's like, did I kill a man? Am I this like vigilante, or am I a weird god man? That'd be sick. I'd watch the shit out of that. But like, I don't think they're going to go that dark with it, that deep with it. I think it'll be kind of obvious. It won't be as disorientating as the trailer lets on. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong on that one. But that's kind of my call for that at the moment. I think, and maybe it's because Hawkeye did me dirty, because I read Matt Fraction's Hawkeye right before like watching the series, and I really loved that comic. So when watching the adaptation of that, I was just like, oh, this is just that run in face alone. Like, you don't have any of the substance to it really. So it was kind of just like a mediocre show to watch week to week. I'd say maybe as a whole complete piece, it was a lot better. Like, it might, like, if you watched it as a big 6-hour movie, it probably worked way better. I think next time around for Moon Knight, I'm just going to watch it one big chunk. I'm just going to sit down, wait till every episode's out, and I'm just going to watch all, like, 6 episodes or 7 episodes in this one big continuous set. I'm just going to fire through it, hope for the best. I feel like that's the way to do it, because otherwise, the Marvel stuff, most of them don't work week to week. I think Peacemaker worked week to week because it, like, each episode felt self-contained. But like, WandaVision in my mind was the only one of the Marvel shows that actually worked week to week. Apart from that, everything else just seemed like, I don't know. But that's just my personal opinion. Let's see, I'm praying that we get The Amazing Spider-Man 3. Ooh. I've been thinking about this for a while, actually. Yeah. I think Sony will be crazy, especially after Tick Tick Boom and the success of No Way Home. If they don't bring Andrew Garfield back as Spider-Man, bring him back for something. Just like make him the Spider-Man of the Sony universe. Like, put him in Morpheus, which is, I think it's the end of this month. I might be wrong. I keep like wiping my nose because it's a little runny, but I'd put him in either Morbius, like at the very end, make him the Spider-Man of that universe, or have him fight Tom Hardy. Like, if you got Tom Hardy and Andrew Garfield in the same Spider-Man movie, like, you've done it. You've made all the money. There's nothing left for anyone else. I would love that so much. Yeah, no, it's watching a series. There's something like really fun, and maybe because Netflix has conditioned us to it at this point, to just binging through a series. Even I've gone back, and I haven't rewatched all the Marvel series. I rewatched Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and it works so much better if you watch it all in one go. There's still some pacing issues. There's some massive pacing issues. But the show as a whole works 10 times better if you watch it all in one big continuous block. Okay, one sec. Let's work on the lines of this guy. Okay, we're making some real progress on this guy. I was scared we were going a little slow on the inking here because I got real caught up talking about Batman, but no, we're making some progress on this guy. Yeah, no, I like when we got Daredevil. Oh, let's see. It'd be so great if they made multiple universes. I don't know, you see, because like at this point, I think it's a bit late. I wouldn't mind it. I'd love if we got like, I don't know, yo, it's looking good. Oh, thank you. Honestly, I'd be so up for if we got like a Marvel multiverse thing where it's just like, here's What If, but it's live action, and we got zombies, and we got all like the evil Doctor Strange. If we got all that as a continuous series, I'd love that. I'd love that in live action. But I think trying to do it as like a new universe is going to be a pain in the ass. Sure, I know that's what DC's doing at this point. We're supposed to have like 6 Batman this year, but I don't know. It's weird. Alright, he is getting there. Let's work on the This scooter is going to be a nightmare to draw. I can feel it now. The scooter is going to be an absolute nightmare to draw. Like, I have a rough version of it there, but we'll come back to that. Okay, let's just get the crotch in here. Add a bit of sag to those pants. Little fun detail that I learned about, I don't want to say recently, but fairly recently, is up here on like what I would say the connector between the leg and the thigh. You can kind of just add these marks because that's where there's a lot of tension. There's a lot of like movement in that part. If you look at jeans, you look at pants, a lot of them have those kind of like fold lines to them just at the top of the leg there. And it's a nice little detail that when you notice it really adds to a piece. I've seen a lot of illustrators start to work it in. It looks really good. So I've started adding it whenever I draw like legs and stuff like that. Same around the knee because the fabric kind of twists when it gets to the knee. It kind of like, it contracts around the knee here. So it's important to add that part to it. Okay, let's hop in and finish these legs. See, with legs, you just gotta get nice, confident, swooshy lines. I remember when I started drawing digitally, I would do like 10 lines. I would do the same line like 10 times just to try and get it right. And I know now, like, slightly good enough is good enough because you can always just come back and fix it later. But at the start, I would take forever to get the same line. I'd go over it like 7, 8 times minimum just to try and get it right. Honestly, I probably should keep that up nowadays, but you know, time is money and all that. Let's get this going. Keep this bad boy going. Okay, what else is everyone watching? Anyone got any recommendations at the moment? Anything they've been watching? Anything they've been doing? I might as well talk about those while we're going over this guy. There's only so much I can say about inking that I've already said or already will say. Plus, it'll make for great tags later on. Will you color it? The hope is, if we get far enough in, we will be coloring this bad boy. Like, let me turn these off for a second. The other versions of like the characters all had a good bit of coloring to them. This one isn't as detailed and colored, but we really went all out in the last one. So hopefully, depending on the time, well, we're about an hour and 5 minutes, and we could definitely. Oh, thank you. Thanks for. I'm happy you like it. The hope is, if we can get this guy done within about half an hour or so, which I think we will. The inking's going pretty fast. From here, coloring is going to be, I don't want to be saying a fast process, but a fast enough process. I made it like a little chunky there, but first those inks have to be done. The inks have to be clean and finished right well before we get any further in. Let's really bulk this guy up. Once again, nice confident lines. Confident lines. Like if you go jittery and you go the whole way down like that, it's gonna look crap. Or if you go like little fast bits like that, nah. You gotta get one swoosh of a line. One real confident piece really ties it all together basically. Let's get that in. And let's get the socks in. The socks are the most important part. And let's just start detailing this guy out a little bit. I realize I add the same shoes every time, but it'll be fine. Once again, he's going to be scaled down to like the size of a can in the final version anyway, so any details that are like, it's fine, we'll hide them. Well, let's see. Watching Archive 81 on Netflix, halfway through it, but undecided if I like it or not. Inking's looking great. Oh, thank you. I'm happy you're liking the inking. Happy you guys really get into it. Archive 81. Is that the one where a guy's got to restore tapes, if I'm remembering correctly? I watched the first, I think I watched the first 2 episodes, I want to say. Maybe even just the first episode. But, no, honestly, it looked good, but it wasn't as scary as I was hoping. Every now and again, they'll put together a trailer. I'm like, that looks cool, it looks creepy, it looks, really scary and intriguing. And then you get 2 episodes in and you're just like, oh, this is a nothing show, okay. What did I watch recently? Oh, the girl in the house, no, the girl in the window in the house with the view, or it's something like that. Oh, what's the name of it? It's got Bryce Dallas Howard in it, I think. It's one sec, I'll look it up. It's the stupidest name for a Netflix show I've ever heard. 1 second. The girl, no, the girl in the house. Ah, here it is. Okay. And this is the legitimate title for an actual series on Netflix. And it is, and I quote, "The girl in the house across..." Wait, the woman... Am I reading it right? Here we is. "The woman in the house across the street from the girl in the window." Holy shit. That's a paragraph. That's not the name of a show. "The woman in the house across the street from the girl in the window." That's a whole paragraph right there. That's a full description. I think they put the name in the wrong section, or else they just gave up on naming it. But holy crap, absolutely, it might be one of the worst shows I've ever watched. And some people are like, oh, it's supposed to be satirical. I don't think so. I don't think it was supposed to be satire. I've seen Scream. I know what a satirical murder thing is, and this just wasn't it. Also, let's see. Let's scuff these shoes up a little bit. Make it look like he's walked them. He's been using these bad boys. Let's turn that off. Alright, we are getting there. 1 foot down, the other one to go. I realized a lot recently that I use the same foot positions an awful lot. One just going straight on, the other one pointing sideways. Let's see. That's the one. It's super slow. Oh yeah, no, I'm just reading your message from earlier about the Archive 81. Yeah, no, it looks like a good show. It does look like a good show. I couldn't get into it in the first episode. And if you can't win me over in the first episode, then the chance to win me over is not great. I've been watching the Kanye documentary a lot, actually. The how he rose and became a rapper and all that. And it's insane to see someone as, I don't want to say insane because that's kind of mean, but as not so well adjusted as Kanye West. This crazy, just powerful, mad rapper who's always feuding with SNL or whatever. To see him be young and well adjusted is the weirdest thing ever. It's so cool and so strange. Just seeing him have regular conversations with people and have his mom talk about his music. It's really sweet and also really, really weird. I don't know how to describe it. It just kind of fucked with my head to see him, be a regular person for a change, I guess. And the one thing I really love about Kanye West, apart from his music, because I've been listening to College Dropout recently, which is not a great sign for my college career, but it's such a good album. But also, he just knew he was the best from the start. He's just the whole documentary, he's just so confident about himself. It's insane. Alright, well, it's just it's really impressive to see him be I'm the best at what I do. And then everyone else slowly realized, oh no, he's not just a producer. He is the best at what he does and what we do. And then get intimidated by that. It's really cool and kind of insane at the same time. I have 1 episode left on it, and it's all the modern stuff with him and Trump and MAGA and all that, and I can't wait to see where that goes. Obviously, we've lived through that time, so we know kind of where it goes. But I want to see him talk about wanting to be president and all that, because I'm not saying he would have been better than Trump or Biden. I'm just not saying it either. I'm also not saying Kanye for 2024, but you heard it here first or whatever. I don't want to say that Kanye would have stopped the war in the Ukraine, because obviously that's terrible and sad or whatever, but I feel like he would have went in there himself and sorted these things out. Kanye would have rolled up with the boys and sorted this whole Ukraine crisis out in an afternoon. And that is horrible and heartbreaking, and if we can help anyone over there, we can, but probably shouldn't even joke about it, but oh well. We joked about enough things today to get enough people pissed off, some of which was Marvel, which gets people really up and rivaled. Okay, how are these inks looking? We're getting there. Am I doing the lighting from the right direction? In the last video I talked about the idea of having lighting always come from one side, and the same applies to the shadows when inking this bad boy. All that shadows gotta come from the right side. Alright, he is getting there. Got those big Mickey Mouse shoes, but it's fine. Now for the scooter. The scooter is going to break me. I can feel the scooter is going to break me a little bit. Okay, one sec. I'm going to try and pull up a reference image here. Let me look at it. Let me see. Okay, I think I got a pretty good idea for how he's going to look, but we are going to throw this in the background just to be safe. We can draw it underneath your boy. That way, if I fuck it up, I don't fuck up the inks for our guy. Let's get this scooter going. We can always cover it up, add some details later. I plan to add in some lightning, some fun color stuff. Hopefully we get to coloring on this stream. This illustration is a little bit more complex than I assumed it was going to be, and it's taking a little bit longer. Mostly because I'm busy talking crap about like the Marvel movies and all that. But this is just a fun casual draw session. We don't have to get the whole thing done today. I'd like to get the whole piece done today, and I'd be happy to have it finished today. But if it's not done, it's not done. Not the end of the world. Let's get this going. Alright. Once again, even on the scooter here, we have to keep the lighting consistent. Shadows are always going to be coming from one side. Let's see. Let's get that piece there. There we go. Alright. We're getting there. Add some lines to suggest the shape. Whenever drawing like circular stuff like this, I love to throw just a little bit of a reference line in there so we know what way it is going. Let's see. I love the auto-correcting shapes on this, by the way. They're just so handy. They make drawing so much easier. Let's add this guy in. Like obviously both digital and traditional have so many things that make them just like unique and amazing and so helpful. But when it comes to digital, there's nothing I love more, no greater advantage than these auto-filling shapes, the correcting ones. They take the pressure off of getting the perfect line. Oh, I love it so much. They make my life so much easier. Thank you, Procreate, for adding these. You've really saved my ass a bunch of times on them. It saved me just so much time trying to correct shapes and get perfect geometry. We should all be thanking the Procreate gods if we can. Let's add this. A bit of a curve. How are we doing on time, by the way? Okay, now we're on 14. We'll probably make it to color time, I think. Not to excite you guys, not to be teasing like setting up a 3-year-old for disappointment, but I think if we work hard here, we might get some coloring time in at the end. Try and get this guy colored and done today. One sec. I always got to pull back, see how the final version is looking. Alright, let's add this kind of cover piece to the wheel. I don't know what you call this, like a wheel cap thing. Add that on. I will have to go back over the inks at some point to add some line weight to them, just because there's a bit of line weight to them, but they're starting to blur together a little bit too much for my liking, and we cannot be having that. Let's add that perfect circle again, because thank you, Procreate, for making our lives easier. There we go. See how that's looking so far. Okay, that's looking pretty good, not gonna lie. We will take that. Got some follow through to that line. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect to the reference picture, it just has to be close enough. Because I know even on the original version of this, if we can pull him up for a second, I definitely struggled to get that scooter right the first time. So it makes sense I'm struggling again here, but we got this. In a worst case scenario, we just throw it all in black. Make it one big solid shape. Might even add some more contrast to the image. We will see how we are doing when we get further in, though. Let's add some line work here. 1 second. Once again, let's take a look at our reference image. Okay, perfect. Let's add this. Let's see. That's alright. That's close enough. Anybody see the Obi-Wan trailer? Actually, give us something to talk about. I have been watching that thing on repeat. I just got another pop-up thing for it there, so I'm looking at it. But like, holy crap, that show looks so good. Like, I haven't been excited for a Star Wars thing in a very long time. Like, Book of Boba Fett kind of broke me and made me kind of give up on Star Wars stuff again after The Mandalorian brought me back around. But holy crap, like, the Obi-Wan show looks so good. Honestly, I think that Obi-Wan might be the next digital painting I do. Like, I know I did a Luke Skywalker one a while back, but oh man, I maybe I'll wait till the show comes out proper before I do any kind of like coloring piece on it. But I don't know, might just do a digital set. Like, Obi-Wan is so hype. Like, it looks so good. Honestly, I'm so excited for it. Ewan McGregor is just so good. I would genuinely, if we didn't get any more Boba Fett or any of that, I would take 3 more seasons of just like an Obi-Wan show. You had Hayden Christensen in there as Darth Vader. Have him fight anywhere. I was gonna say fight in the desert. Put him on a lava planet, a nice planet. I'd watch 8 episodes of those two just fighting. I'd be so up for that. You get the music in there that what is it? Duel of the Fates, if I don't remember correctly. It'd be so good. You should do young/middle. Ooh, maybe do a piece with all 3. I could have it like splitting up the middle. You just gave me an idea for a piece there. Huh. 1 sec. No, that I will put that one in the books because that's a great idea. I like that. An old Obi-Wan, a middle-aged Obi-Wan, and a young Obi-Wan. Oh, I can give him his little rat tail and all. My favorite part of what is it? The Phantom Menace is Obi-Wan's little rat tail at the back. It's so good. I love it so much. Like, the Jedis did a lot of things wrong, but by goodness, their hair was just always on point. Always so good. Okay, let's see how this guy's looking. Let's pull back. Alright. I don't want to jinx it. Obviously, more changes can be made afterwards, but I think our inks are pretty much there. Not perfect by any means, but they will do. 1 second. Let's just add a little bit more line weight right before we hop into the coloring process. Because once we start coloring, it is on. It is cleaning up and finishing time at that point. Closing time. Let's give him some spark effects coming off of here. Maybe a little bit coming off his hair as well. Let's add a bit more. Really want to give him kind of like an energy effect. Maybe a bit coming off here. Alright. This kind of outlining process, this going over the inks at the very end, it's always something I do just to really thicken them up and give them a strong shape. Because if a character doesn't have a strong silhouette, they're gonna get lost in the piece, especially in the inking stage. So this is one of the best ways to make sure that just doesn't happen. You can see it here, even just separating out his legs from the scooter, because they both have some thick lines to them. But just going over them makes it a lot easier to know what's what. Really gives him a strong silhouette. I know I said that in the last stream as well, and then missed a couple of spots, which upon rewatching absolutely killed me. So I am intending not to miss anything this time. Let's fix his hair a little bit. Alright. Let's see. Is that gilet popping enough? Add some lighting down here. You know what? I think it is coloring time. In the last one, I did like an early version of the coloring before we even started. I did like a rough thumbnail as to where the coloring was going to go. But this guy, I think we can just hop right in with the lighting process. Save ourselves a bit of time. I should also start labeling all of these fucking layers because we are at layer number 9 now. Inks. There we are. Oh, thank you. I'm happy you're a fan. And you got it. My favorite thing is the progression from this piece to this, because obviously they are the same character, but this one is just way more stylized, and I think it's gonna look way better on the can instead of this guy. So the process is just, it's a learning curve. It's iteration after iteration before we finally get versions that we like. Alright, time to start coloring this guy. Let's get rid of that reference one. And now for the classic, let's just add a multiply layer into everything. Establish the light is coming from this side. So we'll just go up here and we'll do some rough lighting on this guy. The only problem is with all the jackets and the coats and the layers and the layering on this guy, not just like layers as in drawing layers, but the layers of actual clothing. He is going to be a nightmare to try and figure out where all the shadows go. Because there's so much just overlapping stuff. Oh, we're going to be here for a while on this guy, I feel. The coloring process on this guy is going to be way harder than I expected. I already have a version of the color palette in mind, mostly just a version that fits in with the other characters. But we got about 40-ish minutes. I was hoping to aim for about 2 hours on this bad boy anyway. So, you know what? We'll make it. I think we're going to get this. I think we're going to get there. You know what? No, I got to be more positive. I know we're going to get there. We're going to have this bad boy done by end of stream. Even if we got to go for an extra half hour. I'm not complaining, not going anywhere. Let's just have some fun with it. I should start complaining. Let's see. One of the tricks is just a bulk shadow first. Just get in all the major parts of the lighting. We can go back with the eraser and with the pen in a minute to clean them up. But this is really going to add... I think I said this in the last stream as well, so I'm scared I'm repeating myself for anybody who watches both. But everyone is, to quote the great Stan Lee, everyone is someone's first one. So I'm going to hop on here and repeat myself. If you really want to add some shape, some three-dimensionality to a piece, shadow and lighting are your best friends. You get in there and you add some depth to them. Every object immediately becomes way more 3D when you put some shadows on it, some highlights on it. It really just brings the piece to life more than anything else. Like, this guy is already looking 10 times better, and all we've done is add a tiny few shadows to him. Like, when we go over this in the time lapse, they're just gonna pop. What was it? Try to get a satisfying click, just like pop into. I can't get a satisfying click for some reason. No, it sounds weird. But anyway, these shadows are just gonna, like, there we go, pop into frame like that. They're going to hop right in. You won't even notice them. You won't see me just like spending all this time that I'm doing it now. That's one of the weird things about the time lapse. They look really professional, but also it looks like you're not putting in half as much work as you actually are. Okay, now we are balling. I was watching this thing recently actually, and they talk about the idea of the flow state. The flow state is so cool. This is this concept. Whether you're an athlete, a writer, an artist, whatever, a musician, basically you get into the flow of work or whatever you're doing, and all of a sudden time just starts passing. It just starts like flying by you, and it's so good. You have no concept of time or how much effort something is. You're just in the moment working on the piece, and all of a sudden, like a musician or an artist, they get lost in the look and like 8 hours have passed, even though it feels like they've been doing this for like 20 minutes. I don't know. I know it's the idea that like time flies when you're having fun, but the flow state is something different completely. And there's nothing cooler than when you finally get into it on a piece when you're just like, oh, I feel what we're doing here. I'm happy with this. Even like, if you asked me an hour ago in the stream how I was getting on with this, I would have been like, ah. But now I'm vibing with it. I'm loving this piece. Like, one sec. Once we start dropping the proper inks and colors in here, it's really just coming together all of a sudden. And I know I'm going to have to go back over and refine a bunch of this lighting, but just to have a version of it. Okay. Ooh, that is looking better already. That is really coming together. All right. Let's get in and clean this up a little bit. So we'll start here on the neck, and we'll just go with the regular pen. And basically anywhere where like anything is going to be overlapping or any shapes need to be like fixed, I'm going to come in here and just smooth out all those kind of hard edges. That's going to make the coloring process 10 times easier in a minute, because we'll have all our shading and all our lighting in. So it'll literally just be, hey, does this color work? Nope, let's try another. Hey, does this color work? Nope, let's try another. It's just going to be that over and over, basically. But first, we got to get all of this shadow in. Let's see. This guy's lean, so we're going to add like a little bit of like a detail, like an indent here on the face. Really bring those parts in. These are going to be lighting up in a minute, so we don't want any shadow on them. Just going to get in here. Now hair is a weird thing to try and do lighting on, because hair is both really reflective but also like one of the darkest things. Like you can see on my hair, there's very clearly a light direction, but it's very finicky. It's not like on my face here, there's a bunch of shadow on this side, a bunch of light on this side. When it comes to hair, it kind of spreads a lot more. So I guess my go-to trick has always been just to kind of like almost try and match that finickiness, like imply the idea that like certain strands have light hitting them and certain strands don't. It's a hard thing to master, and honestly I wouldn't say I've mastered it at this point, but you just gotta kind of just work at it till it feels right. It looks somewhat acceptable. That is probably as close as we're gonna get it. Maybe add some highlights in here, but like, yeah, it's whatever feels right, basically, depending on your style, whatever you're going for. But as long as it's close enough, that's all that really matters. Like, we're always going to be getting better. We're always going to be practicing anyway, so it's G. Let's get in here. That hair is going to be putting some light on this. Put some implied shapes with our lighting. And let's get down here onto this part. So if the light is coming from this direction, we are going to need to put a nice highlight along here, because the light would be creeping in right about here. It can't be all shadows, all doom and gloom and darkness. So we are going to have to add a bit of light to this guy. And don't get me wrong, we'll be adding some proper lighting in a minute, some just directional stuff, but this is just our shadows. Gotta keep that version of it there so we can keep looking at it every now and again. See, before I would drop all my colors in and then come back in and do this part of the process where I add the light in, and it would keep catching me because I put my colors in, I'm like, man, these colors are looking great, and then I'd add my lighting and I'm like, oh, never mind, they look mucky and gross. So as a contrast to that, now I always open with the color. The opposite of that. I always open with my shadows. Get all my lighting out of the way first, and then come back and add my colors at the end. Because as long as you have your tones down, coloring doesn't actually matter that much. And I know it sounds weird, it sounds bad, but honestly, coloring does not matter as much as the actual tone to which you are using. The actual levels, the actual blacks, the whites, the grays, and the scales like that. Once you have those in, whatever colors you choose are kind of arbitrary at that point. I know that's debatable, but that's just my personal experience. It's a lot easier to have these colors locked down value-wise right before you put any kind of color down. Whether I go red, blue, green, whatever on this guy, if I have my grays and my lights in first, it's going to make my life 10 times easier. Why aren't you going back? There we go. Let's just keep rounding some of these shapes. Trying to think. I guess the gelée, the word of the day, the gelée, would cast a bit of a shadow as well. So we'd have like this highlighted area, but there'd still be some shadow to it. Same with this pocket coming down. And because this part here is kind of peeking out a little bit, we're just going to go through that, add a bit of an erase to it basically. There we go. That's looking nice. That's giving him some depth, some not emotional or mental or character depth, but it is giving him some visual depth, and that's what matters. Let's give this guy a bit more visual depth. These overlying areas would have the light go the whole way, and the shadows. This part here would not be darkened. And it's a lot of just like going in, going out, taking a look at what's working, what's not, and just keep on refining it until we get close enough to the final version or what we like for the final version. As said, when those colors go in, we might have to come back and change some of the lighting on this guy. And even here, because I'll spot some zones where I'm like, I'm not liking that. I'm not vibing with this. Let's add that in. Let's get rid of this. Every now and again, you get a weird piece that just goes outside of the shadows. Don't ask me how. Sorry, not outside. The shadows that go outside the inks. And then you just got to come back in and fix all those bad boys. Alright, one sec. Let's just try something here. A little bit of... Drop that in. Sometimes you just got to experiment. Play around until you get something that just feels right. Something that just fits like a glove. Boom. Okay, I think... And I don't want to be jinxing it. How are we doing on time here? An hour and a half. Okay, we're at the 90-minute mark already. We are flow zoning the shit out of this. How about we add a bit of color to this bad boy? So first things first, we're going to drop that background down to a nice dark gray. Not too dark. We don't want to go like pitch black because we're not going to be able to see anything if we go too dark. But like a medium-ish gray. Just so any colors that turn up on it aren't going to be too light, but they're also not going to be too dark either. So let's just break into this a little bit. And this is where these guys are going to come in handy. These are the illustrations from last time. Let's just... one sec. Be handy if I was on the right layer most of the time. We can just pull these guys tonally. So that blue, I'm liking that. We're going to carry that over immediately to the gilet. I love saying that word. Now that we've learned it, saying gilet. Let's just start coloring in his gilet. So let's turn off our shadows for a second and just pop the colors in. This is where the highlighter thing comes in handy really easily. Sorry, my goodness, my English is all over the place. For somebody writing a thesis, my use of English and my language skills are just all over the place recently. I think my brain is just fried from trying to write in the third person. But basically, when coloring this gilet, see, there we go again. I'm just fucking it up everywhere I go. When we're filling in this area, it's way easier just to use the highlighter tool to just pick up all of what we want. And now if I wanted, I could go over this, I could brush it in like that. Or, make it easier, I just take a bit of blue, drop it in, and fill my whole area. And because I'm starting with the bigger shapes over the small ones, I can be kind of messy with it. I can just kind of drop them in willy-nilly and not have to watch them too much. Obviously, when we get to the more refined parts in a sec, I'm going to have to be way more careful with what color goes where. But for now, I can just drop in what I need in certain areas. Let's go back in here. What colors can we pull from her? I'm liking this color here. Let's chuck this back in. Hop up a layer. Turn that off. I'm thinking this might be our hoodie color. You see, I gotta be way more careful on this version because this will be going on top of the gilet. It's way more of a smaller area, so I'm just gonna be careful, go over it, and drop it on top. And you can see I missed the spot immediately here, so we're gonna come back in and just start filling that out. Blue and yellow, two primary colors. Show this guy as a little bit heroic. Plus, when I think about electricity, think about lightning characters. This guy's also kind of a lightning. He's more of a thunder character, if anything, but either way, he's getting kind of electric powers, like our last guy. I realize we got a running theme of all our characters being electric, and it's not. It's just the last two on the two streams have both been electric/thunder themed. So, this energetic guy is getting some blue and yellow. Both primary, both heroic-ish colors. You got like your Superman colors, your Wonder Woman colors. All he needs is a bit of red, really, but I think we're going to leave that out for now. But on the upside, they also represent his color, his powers. That blue, that yellow being representative of the kind of colors you put with lightning, with energy, that kind of thing. You know what? I actually do think we can work a little bit of red into this guy now that I'm saying it out loud. I'm going to take that red here, turn that on and off. It's so easy just to hop on here and steal some colors. I think we need a pants color. So, and obviously, I might be going too bright on the colors in this guy. I might have to switch it up a bit in a minute. But we can just experiment a bit. Let's see what looks good, what doesn't. Life's all about experimentation. You just gotta try everything twice. Put everything in your mouth twice, kids. Once to see if you like it, wants to see if you were right the first time. That's my life motto right there. And it might just be the name of this video as well. Let's add this in. Best thing I can just keep going over these outlines. And a fun little trick here is I've dropped that. Now you're saying to yourself, why did you do that with the red? It's awkward and kind of overlapping there. Boom, we just drop it underneath. Obviously it's still not perfect, but now I'm looking at it, it's a bit too red. So we're going to come back here. I think I'm going to grab some of this blue and just alter it slightly. Yeah, there we go. Maybe even a bit more into the greenish. We just kind of need to experiment. Maybe a yellow or... Ooh, okay, that could work. Maybe more orange in there. We could experiment with a really dark gray, but I feel like... No, you know what? That kind of works. 1 second. We don't want to go too dark, because when we add this... is that too dark of a gray? You know what? No. Let's just stick with it. Let's embrace that gray, that dark gray. In direct contrast to that, let's add those white lines in. There we go. That's going to lighten this guy up way more. Let's just add them. They're also going to give us a sense of direction when looking at the piece. So you can see the way the fabric kind of curls around here, goes around back, and comes back around here almost. So it wraps around to a point which I probably should have it going here, but yeah, close enough. We'll see it come down here again. Bear with me as we are doing this. What happened? Oh, 1 sec. That's the erase. Handy if I didn't erase everything as we were going. Let's just add some white in here. And as I said, everything can be altered as we go, but I'm just going to make some snap decisions. One of the most important things is these colors are kept fairly close to what we've done so far for the other characters. It just makes them all kind of work better as one continuous piece. If they're all in a close enough color, like if this guy was bright kind of garish colors and no one else had those, it'd be a little bit awkward. Let's just add that white in here. See, this is the trick now. See, with a character you don't really want to go over like a 2 to 3 color palette. Like these guys here, she's just rocking like a 3 color palette basically. Pink, blue, and a little bit more like kind of a yellowish blondie color at the back there. Same with this guy where it's, I wouldn't even count the white part to it. I'd just go with like gray, blue, and like yellowish. That way it's a lot easier to like design the character, and it's, you're not getting overwhelmed with what you have. Sometimes it's very easy to get overwhelmed with the color palette on a character and have them be just this rainbow mess of design, and it doesn't work. It's not a functional design, and it makes everything a lot harder on both you and the viewer. So make it easy on yourself and just keep your characters nice and simple color palette wise. Let's give a nice white jumper underneath. Oh, wait, no, that's gonna be yellow. What am I saying? Getting lost in my own characters at this point. Can you tell that my energy drink is wearing off? And I also just spilled some on myself. Hopefully that doesn't show up on camera, but yo, what are you gonna do about it? Let's add some more of these white highlights in certain areas. If I say white highlight one more, if you take a shot for every time I say white highlight, you're gonna be blacking out by the end of this. Okay, we gotta drop some more down here. What color should we go with for these shoes? So obviously we have 2 options here. It's either the yellow or the blue. I feel like we got an awful lot of yellow going, so we might drop some blue in here. Ooh, colors look great so far. Thank you. Wait till we drop the lighting back on these bad boys and see how it really pulls it all together. Because 1 second. Let's just drop this white in here first, and then I'll show what I'm talking about. So the reason we went with those that shadow earlier is we can just drop it back on and immediately see how it interacts with our colors. So now we can just see how the grays interact, how the lights interact, and obviously this can be upped or down to make him, like, if we go darker with those shadows, he's gonna be way more dramatic. We go lighter, it's gonna be almost like impossible to see. So, as I said a long time back, I think I like to keep it around a 20-ish%, more or less. Nothing too crazy, nothing too small. Let's add a skin tone to this guy. Just drop a bit in here. And at this point, just because we're going with the yellow and the blue, I feel like it'd be weird not to make him kind of blonde. I'm feeling like, not obvious, not like too blonde, but, or actually, no, never mind. I'm an idiot. Let's give him some white hair. The white hair would be pretty sick. Am I right in saying that he would look pretty cool with just some bright white hair? Once again, because it's a nice big block piece, we can just trace over this. Give it its own layer. Boom. Get this blonde. We're going to bring that down a little bit. We're going to throw that in here. Also, if you got any ideas for names on this guy, that is something I could really use. Because I've just been kind of calling him our speed guy this whole time, our electric boy. I haven't actually come up with any kind of name for him. So if you got something, feel free to fire it into the messages there. Leave it in the comments kind of thing. We will use it. Do not worry, nothing will be wasted. Blue, I'm thinking blue actually for those shoes. Really tie them together. How are we doing on time? Okay, an hour and 42. We're getting there. I think we can wrap this up in around the 2-hour, 2.5-hour mark. That's plenty of sketching for today. I mean, we've got a full character done, so there's no complaints on this one. Oh, we're calling him Owen. I wonder, Mr. Good, I wonder where you're getting that. Well, no, you want an Owen? We'll call him Owen. Screw it. This is our speedy boy, Owen. Owen McSpeed? Oh, Speed Owen? Well, we'll think of something. We'll think of something quite good. I do as the audience asks. Alright, now we are talking. Let's add some directional lighting on this guy. So because we're using kind of blue and yellow, I guess it makes sense to get a yellow directional light. And here's a fun little painting tip. If we get, say, the airbrush here, if I can find it, turn it up big-ish. You want a big one, small opacity, something like that. Grab a brightish color and just go ham over him. Just go. Let's see. Once again, we made sure that the lighting is coming from this side, as if the sun is up here. So we're gonna go over him on this side and just work our way down. I make sure I'm on the right layer for this. Yeah, there we go. Just work our way down on that, and you're saying to yourself, that looks good and all that, but now it's got a weird glow to the side of it. And to that I say, let's turn on a clipping mask. Boom. Now he's got some nice, smooth, directional lighting coming to him, and that's only going to affect the colors underneath. So we can really just play around with that, add a little bit more brightness to him. Oh, now we are jonesing. And also, I'll add it here as well. I know it's going to turn up on the scooter in a minute. Let's just play with that. Now we can go in here, and we got some settings. So like the lighting here, we can go down. We can go lighten, screen, color dodge, light color, hard light. Hard light's not bad, but no. Let's see. Where is subtract? Subtract's gonna make it darker. Divide, hue. Where's additive? Additive normal. Add normally adds. Yeah, okay. Adds. See, add makes it very bright. You could tie in the gel. Right. You could tie in the gel. It doesn't. Oh, okay. Maybe like a Gillette. Oh, like a Gillette blueberry or something like that, or Gillette grape or something like grape Gillette. Oh. Great Gillette speed. Well, we'll come up with something on the day, but yeah, no, definitely tying it into the name Gillette is like, that's a really good shout actually. I'm quite happy with that. That's a great idea actually. No, we're gonna use that. 100% we're gonna use that. I think color dodge is the way to go on this guy. Or is it add? I feel like add's a bit too much. A saw one earlier that I said, now that was a nice lighting to screen lighting, color, no, lighting, yeah, that'll do us. Add some nice lighting to him. Now we're gonna add a little bit more to him with our inking brush. Go in here, and we're just gonna add a nice little white, nice little highlight basically. Actually, never mind. Why not use the actual lighting brush? Probably makes more sense. These luminance brushes are so nice. They create such a cool effect. We just go down the side here. Yeah. Which one am I on? Aha. If we had the light pen on, we'd be doing well. Go up top. And let's just... Ah, now that's nice. That adds a really cool effect to the gilet. Adds a nice shine to him to show where the light is coming from. Let's run that up the scooter as well. Add that over here. That's really gonna tie this whole guy together basically. Bit of light here. Get in here, add it to the eyes as well. Let's add that. Yeah, now we are talking. Alright. Oh, we forgot to fill in his socks. That would have been nice. Inking. And now finally, the last piece that's going to tie this all together is that scooter. So let's just grab a random gray there, turn it up a little bit, and just grab all this and fill it in. We are basically done, I think. I might be wrong on saying this now. We might pull back and notice we're missing a bunch of bits, but I think we might be almost done this guy, not gonna lie. Let's see. Lighten up that gray a little bit. Honestly, I might just go in here with the brush. It'd probably be faster than trying to select this whole thing. Let's see. Add the handlebars in there. And you're going to notice something real fast here when I drop this together. That the way the lighting works on this bad boy, that clipping mask is also going to add the same kind of light effect onto the scooter, which is really handy because it's going to give a really cool effect to make it look like they're both in the same area. It makes both pieces look like they're one, which is really, really nice. Nothing better than putting everything together and having it all fall in. I probably should have just scaled my pen up a bit earlier, made life easier on myself, but hey, why make things too easy? Let's add that in. There we go. And this is just refining it at this point. Maybe grab some of the yellow we were using earlier, put it in here as some highlights. So I know some of these scooters come with like highlight pieces. Maybe a bit down here, a bit on the handlebars. There we go. And put these together. There we go. You can see the lighting's now coming in on both of those to make it look like one. Clean up this stuff. We still need a background color on this guy. So as much as I'm loving that gray, I think we need to rob something from this. Let's grab that and try like a blue from it maybe. Let's just fire that in the back there. Turn her off. Nah, see, that's too bright straight away. Bit of blue. Maybe not. Let's just play around with this for a second. What would be the harmonious color with this yellow? Ooh, okay, that's not too bad. I mean, it could be worse at this point. Maybe a little darker. Desaturate that bad boy. Nah, never mind. The gray is where it's at. And finally, let's add one more little bit, one tiny element to this bad boy. It's really going to tie all of it together. I've said tie all of it together about 6 times at this point, but I think this will add to it a little bit. Let's just add a little bit of smoke for dramatic effect. Just a little. Really add, give him a sense of presence, basically. Really just layer that in there. Alter the lighting a little bit. Let's see. Magenta. Ooh, magenta. Maybe. Let's play around with that. One sec. Let's turn off that smoke. One sec. Let's just see how that color looks on there. Do I have you on? Honestly, I'd say we could maybe get away with that color. I'm kind of... Obviously, things can be changed later on, but I'm vibing with that color. Maybe turn it off a little bit. Alright, we might have a winner here. Well, it's not perfect by any means. That's pretty close background colors-wise with what I was imagining. So you know what? I think I might even just stick with this. How are we doing on time? An hour and 52? Honestly, I think we're there. I know the smoke would just be like a hat on a hat at this point, add some dramaticness to it, but you know what? Well, one sec, we're missing one last bit, which is a little bit of glow up here. But no, I think, I dare say, we're done. I think this guy is looking pretty good. You know what? I think I'm gonna call it. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to. Sometimes you gotta just be ready to cut it off there. You gotta be ready to go, that's enough. This guy's looking good. Like, one second. Compared to where we came from, starting with this guy, let's turn some of these layers off a second. Let's do a little recap. So, starting with this guy, this like quick, sketchy version that I had from a long time back, a version from the very, very start of the project. We came back in, sketched up, where is he? This thumbnail of a guy. We sketched up this thumbnail of your boy, built on top of it. Let's turn that layer up with a version that's a little bit better, a little bit more refined, but you know what? We knew we could do better, so we jumped a bit more on there. And all of a sudden, you get this guy, which is more refined, it's cleaner, it's better line work. From there, we scaled him up, cleaned up the line work even more. I know it's a little awkward to see it there because it wasn't designed with a gray back. One sec, let's turn that to white. There we go. We got this guy going, which was like much cleaner, much better line work. From there, we slapped those inks on, cleaned them up completely, take those inks away, take the sketch away, and all of a sudden we got these nice, clean, refined inks. And from there it was just adding some tone, background color, adding some lighting, adding in the actual colors, bit more lighting, kind of just like some mood, some ambiance stuff. And before we know it, we got a finished character. So we come an awful long way from this sketchy boy here to bring it to this final design here, this more refined, this version that's going to look great on one of these cans. This guy's going to be perfect for the project. I'm quite happy with this guy. And I think at an hour and 55 minutes, I think we should just be happy to call it there. So I think we're going to call it. I've been Jack. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed watching whatsoever, feel free to like, comment, whatever you do on Twitch, I guess share, whatever. I'm Jack Trying Art on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and here on Twitch, obviously. If this is the first place you're seeing it or you're seeing it on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I've been Jack. Thanks for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this Monday stream. Feel free to come back around to us Thursday or next Monday for another stream. Thanks for all the great stuff, guys. See you guys later. And don't forget, keep drawing.